Hi, I'm Ronnie from Ronnie's Garage, and we are holding our monthly tech meet at my garage. Today we're going to be working on a Bentley T2. It has a control arm, they call it a bearing, it's a bushing that is bad, and I'll show you how to do that. This is the arm we need to get off. Fortunately, we don't have to take everything apart to get it apart. The arm, if you want to look under here, that pin is up. That pin goes right here. So you can see this big nut. There's a big nut on the end of this arm that holds it to the arm. That washer goes on the back side, and there's a nut on the back side with a spacer that holds it on the other side. So I'm going to pull this arm off, and it's held on with 2 bolts. Now this rusty car may give me some grief, but that's what we're going to do here. What we're going to do is you've got this one small bolt here. This goes all the way through. This link here that connects from the bottom of the shock to the ball joint, and then the 2 arms. So it has a nut on one side. I usually like to loosen it, and we'll see if that turns. Doubt. Oh, it does. Sweet. That's good news, boys and girls, because they get seized in there. If that didn't turn, that means it's rusted between those 3 arms. And the reason we're doing this bearing, once you see it's bad, you'll know, but loud clunking over bumps in the front suspension. But there are more than one source for that. Sources for clunking on these are ball joints, obviously, but they're pretty tough. If you get a clunking when you hit the brakes and accelerate and hit the brakes, this bushing is usually bad. That's called your compliance mount. That's very easy to put in. You don't have to put the spring compressor on. Another clunk is at the other end of this big arm up top. Remember the arm I told you pivots like this? There's a bushing inside there, metal elastic bushing, that will go bad, and that'll cause clunking, and they'll walk back and forth. Another source of knocking noise is this lower ball joint for the shock. And that's adjustable. You can take it off. If you compress a spring, you can usually get this out of here without pulling the shock, and take it apart and take some shims out because they loosen up. Another place is right up top, right in the engine compartment. There's a rubber shock bushing, and that bushing is shouldered. So when the shoulder goes bad, then the shock is walking around in a metal hole, and that makes knocking. So now I'm going to take this off. I'm going to try to drive that through. That's nice. And I used my small persuader today. There we go. And we got to take this out. I'm just going to leave that in there to kind of hold things together. Now, and this is a hardened bolt. Just so you know, this is I think a grade 8 or something like that. There's a big bolt back here. Now this one goes through a hole in this, and is threaded into the front arm. There's no nut on the back side of this. Now you saw that shock, it just dropped down. See that up here? It just dropped down. That's normally what happens. Ooh.
So it'll be easy to change them.
Oh, relative term. So the trick, if you're doing one, is, and this section down here is where the gas chamber is. It's probably higher, but this right down here, if you drill a tiny little hole in here, 1/8 inch or smaller, with the drill and with the eye protection so the shards don't come out, you'll get a psh, and then it's depressurized. It's not a bomb anymore. Of course, you can't use it again. But if you're changing the shock, you're probably changing it for a reason.
How many miles is the car?
There's the owner.
94, 95.
Now I'm going to leave that in there for now. I'm going to try to break this big nut loose here. Sometimes you can do it pretty easy. It's 1 5/16. And normally I can't do it this way, but sometimes you get extra leverage. Now it's turning, so. All right.
Look at the slop in that.
Yeah, that's their knocking noise right there. You can hear it.
One of them.
One of them, right. There. It's nice and worn out, so there's flats on that new bushing, so you can put a wrench on it. Oh, yeah, right. And the reason I want to take this apart in here is I don't want to pull the exhaust down to get that arm out.
You can hold some?
If you want to hold this while I do this. I don't want to hit your hand. No. Tell you what, we'll just do it the old-fashioned way. We might be able to sneak it out. Let's see.
I don't look like I wasn't doing my job.
Hopefully we can work that thing out.
Is this a fairly common repair?
This spot is really not good. First of all, it's like 2 inches from the exhaust. That's a rubber part. Second of all, it's got an accumulator right above it, which they leak. Third of all, the valve cover, when it leaks right there. Right down. There we go. Oh.
Still a little tension on that, huh?
Yeah, that was exciting. Now we'll just back up a second. That's because the shock's not letting go, I think. It's got the tool on, it's holding it.
Good thinking.
Now here's looks like somebody, here's the rest of the rubbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this up to a wire wheel, clean it off really good, and then we're going to figure out how we're going to leave this thing. Because this is hard.
Yeah.
This is pretty hard.
So, being urethane, it'll hold the oil a little better.
Right. Yeah,
And-
urethane
and
doesn't
heat.
deteriorate under oil
Yeah.
normally. And it's pretty soaked with oil. It's all mushy. That's a tech term too. Mushy.
What did you lube that with?
I got to lube the outside.
The kit came with a little lube.
It says polyurethane lube on it. Here's what comes with a Superflex assembly lubricant for the urethane bushing. Okay. I'm gonna open it up. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I wonder if I should have done the inside. Feels good.
So you only put on the outside?
So now what I'm doing is I'm looking through these. There's a hole through this arm, like I said. There's a hole through this arm, and then there's threads on the back side. Trying to get it as close as I can. Oh, I'm not too far there. Yeah, we got the first two lined up perfect. Now went through those two. Well, that's half the battle. Now here's a real tricky part. I've seen people. I use a big wrench to wiggle this. I'm gonna get a little smaller big wrench. 1/16. And what that does is help those threads move around in there. This is hard, this one, because the shock's not coming down like it usually does. But I've seen people take an impact wrench and get it close and just, and they just all up. So, sorry, that's another tech. Oh, yeah. So, what I'm trying to do with a little ratchet is get those threads started. It's okay to use the impact once you're all lined up and started. No. Maybe you can try starting it while I do this.
Yeah.
This is a 2. And you're going to be wanting to put pressure on it until you get that step in. Did it step in on you? Feels like it's catching now, huh? Is it catching?
It feels
I
like
think
it.
so, huh?
That thing's not moving right now. It just like did a little skip. I think I might have gotten it.
Think so? Oh man, it hurts. I'm getting old.
I think I got it.
You do? You still? I need to pull it some more. My fingers are hurting. Oh yeah, it feels. You started.
Yeah.
Sexy. Now we don't need that little wrench anymore. can go ahead and use the impact on it.
Well, double check it.
Oh, is it going in? Yeah, it's going in.
It's going in, yeah.
Yeah, if it's going in, it's caught.